Supreme Court judges warn of consequences as it fights back against accusations of timidity leveled by MPP's Gabi Asare-Okyere-Darko.
We want to be very liberal, but you see, too much liberality spoils things. An institution can be broken down through liberality.
Tonight, we tell you why NDC lawyer Chachu Chikata is questioning the legal experience of lead counsel for the petitioners as he continues his cross-examination.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services, your success, our passion, Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection. Also by Blue Rose Limited, shelter for all. Be warned, your comments in the media about the ongoing election petition hearing could land you in deep trouble with the highest court of the land. The Supreme Court judges hearing the case today mince no words in expressing their indignation about disparaging remarks made by some lawyers and journalists about their work. The indignation of the judges was triggered by comments made by Executive Director of the Dankwa Institute, Gabi Asare-Okyere-Darko, following the court's verdict in favor of PNC General Secretary Bernard Mona, who had challenged the sitting of the courts on holidays in hearing the election petition. Now, Ms. Okyere-Darko had labelled the judges who sat on that case as timid in an opinion piece, but the judges appear to have taken that seriously, and they are not mincing words in describing that as one that should not be allowed. Take a listen.
For instance, when we delivered the Mona case, perhaps we were wrong, but that was our decision. But certain articles that were on the website describing the judges as timid, etc., it's not healthy for the development of the law. It is not proper. That's all we wish to say. We are reluctantly saying these things because we know of the responsibility that we all owe to the Ghanaian society. All of us, the legal system, to do this case in a manner that shows civility. And so please, we urging you to be circumspect and use language that is civil, that shows some courtesy to the court. We have the authority to deal with people, but we don't want to. That is, in the days of old, the judges who were here were very assertive. It is not as though those powers have eroded over time, but we just want to do this work in a manner that at the end of the day, we will all say that we were healthy partners in bringing about justice to our people.
My Lords, I may respectfully say that I share entirely the sentiments that you have expressed in relation to the responsibility that we all have, especially at the bar. Unfortunately, as you have said yourself, my Lord, there seems to be an extraordinary spirit of partisanship in respect of which these matters are being addressed. And we regard that as somewhat unhealthy. It is our respectful view that it is possible for these matters to be dealt with in a spirit even of disagreement, but of civil disagreement. And we will continue to abide by that.
All the other judges in this particular case, both for and against the petition, agreed with the judge's opinion there. But the president of the panel, Justice Otuguba, went further, warning that the liberal posture of his colleagues must not be taken for granted.
It's somewhat surprising sometimes. Certain dissections are made of rulings and judgments which are not based on what actually takes place here. And the worrying thing is that some lawyers even do it. I mean, the last time somebody came here, Mekuji also, yes, and a number of objections were raised. But our ruling never threw him out on the basis that his motion was not supported by affidavit. Some lawyers have made submissions in extenso, both in the electronic and print media, chastising us, that it was a legal point, so affidavit wasn't called for. But I don't know whether they even saw the ruling. A ruling never threw him out on any such ground. So I appeal to the lawyers that they preserve the integrity of the process, go by the actual record of what takes place, apply for the certified true copy or something. Make sure that what you are saying is really what took place. And the journalists, if they don't understand, get across the lawyers. They will explain to you what is it that has happened. Some go and even quote certain dicta and which never took place. All these things are very fascinating. I mean, we want to be very liberal, but you see, too much liberality spoils things. An institution can be broken down through too much liberality. See, these things are for our own benefit. Let's preserve them.
Now, we'll shortly hear from Gabi Asare-Okyedako about the judges' concerns there, but the Ghana Bar Association had also raised similar concerns in the past, but with the judges now publicly expressing their disapproval, will the association crack the whip? I've been joined by the spokesperson for the GBA, Tony Forsing, but also joined by Gabi Asare-Okyedako. I want to start with you, Gabi. What exactly did you say? Hello, Mr. Okyedako. Hello, sir. Okay, there appeared to be a challenge there with the line. We'll get him back on the line and put those questions to him. We will also be speaking to Mr. Forsing. I don't know whether Mr. Forsing is also on the line. Let's establish what indeed the association intends to do now. Now that the judges are publicly expressing their disapproval of some of these comments that have come up. Also later on, we'll tell you about, in the case itself, what happened when the cross-examination continued by Teshie Tsikata. There was a moment in today's cross-examination where Teshie Tsikata was pretty angry. Indeed, at the point, asked the lead counsel for the MPP to shut up, and Mr. Addison did not take kindly to that. Can we now speak to the two gentlemen? Let's speak to Gabi Asare-Okyedako on the line right now, if he is on the line. Can you hear me, sir? Okay, we don't have any of the gentleman on the line. We will get back on the line and speak to him once we get him. But I understand that Mr. Forsing is on the line. Thank you, sir, for your time, Mr. Forsing, for joining us here on Top Story. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. I know that the association has taken a serious view of some of these comments, but really, some suggest that the comments that were made was about a case that had been decided upon already. Do you agree with those who share that view?
Yeah, well, a person can make a comment after a case has been made, but the comment must be civil and must show respect to the court. Therefore, if someone makes a comment and that comment tends to bring the court's authority into ridicule, then, of course, there is cause for concern.
Particular case, I wonder, you've said it before, that these comments must be civil. The judges are now repeating it. What is it that can be done if you look at the rules of the game to bring people to book?
Well, the court has got the power, excuse me, to hold someone for contempt, for scandalizing the court. There's an offense like that if you look at the Republic versus Mensah Bonsu. The premise of your introduction that whether the association is going to crack the whip, we have said it several times and drawn people's attention to the fact that these things are not right. The Ghana Bar Association does not have the power to crack the whip. The power to crack the whip lies with the General Legal Counsel. And I would hope that the General Legal Counsel will be up and doing and discipline the lawyers who go wayward. It is my strong view that it is only when people are sanctioned that people will take a cue from the sanctioning and behave properly.
What sort of sanctions? What sort of sanctions are there on the books?
For several years, resolution upon resolution at our conferences, we have resolved that this thing is not going to happen. This year, when this case started, we drew people's attention to that fact. Beyond that, there's very little we can do.
Now,
so now that the courts themselves have drawn the people's attention, I believe that it lies within the purview of the General Legal Counsel to sanction people.
Let's look at the specific sanctions, if they are on the books. What are they?
Well, a matter like this will be brought before the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Counsel. The person will have a right of audience and will have the opportunity to defend himself. If, after all is said and done, the General Legal Counsel feels that the person has crossed the line, then it could be either suspension, withdrawal, or revocation of your license to practice. There are several sanctions that the General Legal Counsel has within its power to mete out.
I want us to look at, for a moment, at the specific case of the comments that the judges were particularly not happy about. The use of the word timid was one that the judges specifically mentioned, and that you can attribute to Gabi Asare-Echudaku. I don't know if you've seen his opinion piece. You've said that it's okay to comment about a case once the verdict has been delivered, but you must be civil. Would you consider his opinion within the context that he used it as one that satisfies the criteria of civility?
Well, by your kind courtesy, I've read Judges Gabi's write-up, and I believe that certain portions will not rub down well with certain people. It's rather unfortunate. The total write-up, I believe, was in a good spirit. And I think that if a person feels aggrieved about a decision of the Supreme Court, I believe that under the Constitution, he can bring an application for a review of that matter. Yet, some portions of it wouldn't go down well, especially with the Supreme Court, because of the kind of perception and the context in which it was used. There are certain words used that I don't want to repeat. And I think that those words could have been easily substituted and the same effect be gotten across.
Finally, what do you make of the concern others might express that once the judges are bringing some of these comments made in the public domain into the court proper, when a case like this, a very important one, is going on, some suggest that once you hear the judges making these pronouncements, it clearly indicates that they are worried and concerned and paying attention to what people are saying out there, and that might not be one that we should applaud, because the judges must stick purely and exclusively to what happens within the court and not outside.
What you are saying is totally ridiculous. The judges live in society. They are not separate people. Whatever is said affects them. The only difference is that when it comes to questions of law, there they will not shake. That is the highest court of the land. That court will not shake when it comes to questions of law. But when it comes to opinions that people are expressing, definitely they will be affected. Definitely they have families. They will also be affected. That is why at the beginning of this trial, when the Ghana Bar Association engaged on the public education, we did mention that the judges must be respected and protected, because it is a job they are doing, and it is based on their expertise that the matter has been put before them. So let us leave them to do their best job, and thereafter they are free to comment.
I see. Thank you, sir, for your time. That's Tony Forsing. He is the spokesperson for the Ghana Bar Association. We're so hoping to speak to Gabi Asare-Echudaku about what exactly he said and whether he concedes that he was wrong in making those pronouncements. But thank you. I acknowledge that we are not able to get him right now. If we do, we'll bring him to you. But I want to now share with you some key moments, key controversial moments at today's hearing. There was this heated exchange between NDC lawyer Atachu Chikata and lead counsel for the petitioners, Philip Addison, when Mr. Chikata bluntly asked Mr. Addison to shut up and stop interrupting his cross-examination. Listen.
So you're not able to tell us anything beyond the observations that you're making on the face of the document?
Yes, my lord.
But presumably other people who else were there?
There were many people who were there.
Yeah, like who? Because maybe we'll need to call them to tell us, to explain to us. Who else were there?
There were tons of people. I can't remember everybody, but there was a lot of people.
Yes, you can
helping
remember.
Us.
Can you remember 2 or 3 or 4?
In terms of helping us to do that, Akoto Ampao, for example, was around helping us to put these together. Gloria Kufu was around.
And who else?
My team was also around.
My Lord, so what's the relevance of these questions? I'm sorry, Lord.
Now, can you explain the irrelevance?
The people who were present who stamped these documents is relevant.
These irregularities that we are finding on the face of the exhibits have a lot of significance.
Is counsel addressing the court?
And can you shut up?
I thought he's supposed to be cross-examining the witness.
I can. Yes. Can you let me finish? My Lord, it's clear that if there were other people,
My Lord, these rude words that counsel has been using, we're capable of reply, and I think that the court should call on him.
I have more key moments for you as far as today's hearing is concerned. If you join me on Newsnight in 15 minutes on radio. Also, we'll be hearing from Gabi Asero-Chidako. Hopefully, he was on the line with us, but I'm told the line just dropped. He will join us on Newsnight and ask him a few questions about those comments attributed to him. Did he actually make them? And what does he make about those who say he was wrong? Does he concede that he was wrong? We'll hear from him on Newsnight. My name is Evans Mensah. Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services. Your success, our passion. Belacqua Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection, and by Blue Rose Limited, shelter for all.